Well, in the wake of the beating death of Tyree Nichols by 5 Memphis police officers, there is renewed focus on police tactics and training. After the arrest of the officers, the city disbanded the specialized unit they were part of. Some Tupelo leaders say there's a need for those type of officers in high crime areas as long as they have the right training and officers know the community. Our Allie Martin has more on that.
Willie Jennings remembers a time when it was considered risky to be in Haven Acres in the daytime and dangerous once the sun set.
We was having a lot of problems with drugs, prostitution, just all different sorts of crime.
Jennings, a former Tupelo City councilman, lived in Haven Acres in the late 80s and early 90s. He says community leaders, with help from the city, applied for and received a grant from the U.S. Department of Justice. The Weed and Seed grant helped pay for a new community center and funded a special unit of police officers focusing on high crime areas.
We were in force in the early 90s. We actually had 6 officers to target the area.
Robert Hall was a Tupelo police officer who organized the unit known as the Special Operations Group, or SOG. The results were dramatic and measurable.
In the first year, we implemented over 1,600 arrests, and we did not have a valid complaint.
Hall believes the SOG unit was effective because it was made up of officers who knew the community and its residents. They also underwent extensive and ongoing training.
We actually had a relationship with the community. In other words, we knew that the community like we knew the back of our hands. We knew the good, and we also knew the ones that was up to no good. We actually played basketball with a lot of the element that we had to arrest, but they knew they would be treated right.
Jennings says residents of the Acres community asked for help from the police and were kept informed of the progress by city leaders. The grant paid for the community center, which houses the Haven Acres Boys and Girls Club.
If we hadn't had that type of unit and the funding from the government at that time, I don't know what the community would be today. They came in and done their job, but they worked with the community, and the community was involved with the team, the police department, and the city of Tupelo.
Both Jennings and Hall have reached out to Memphis city leaders, offering to share their stories of how a special unit of officers working with the community made a lasting impact.
Even though I'm very heartbroken about the situation, it's terrible. I almost got sick when I saw what happens to Mr. Nichols, and like Mr. Jennings said, the heart goes out to the family. But that situation shouldn't ever happen anywhere. And so, but I hate for communities and organizations to have a knee-jerk reaction before we realize exactly what we're doing. We need these units, I think, around the country, but the units have got to be ran correctly, ran with the right officers and the respect of the community.
The community center is a safe haven for hundreds of children who come to the Boys and Girls Club every day, and it's also an example, Hall and Jennings say, of what can happen when true community-oriented policing is put into practice. Telling your story in Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.